Welcome back to Hermione Fanfic Fanatics. You're here with Carrie Ann, Tracy, Holly, and today we are actually going to be talking about love potions and their many uses by Accio Saucy. Is that how you guys say that? Accio? Because that's how I say it.
I say Accio.
Accio.
The movies say Accio.
Okay. I'm
But
saying
he says
Accio.
Accio.
I do. I say Accio.
Saying Accio.
Sorry.
I do. That's how they say it in the books.
Anyways,
That's how Jim Dale pronounces it.
Holly, this is found on AO3, fanfiction.net, Wattpad. Holly, did you say there are audio versions?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
No
hint,
audio
hint.
versions.
We'd love an audio version.
This is 23 chapters, 162,469 words, and it is completed. So, FYI, there will be spoilers. Be prepared. If you haven't read it, go read it. Come back. I liked this one.
I love it. Yeah.
I did too. I read it twice. I liked it both times. I forgot how much I liked it. I liked it.
Yep.
I found that this one is just the epitome of porn with plot.
Yep.
Yes.
Like
was
that's
great.
exactly
so
what
I'm
it
like
is.
90% sure there was smut in every chapter. Even if it's just a little bit, there was smut,
Mhm.
I think, in every chapter.
It was so good. It was so good. I loved the story. I loved the smut. Everything about it was just so good. And like I said earlier this week, it's just a feel-good fic. It really, really was. And
Mhm.
Carrie Ann, I have so much faith in you now with all the fics that you recommend that I read. Every
Yeah,
single one that you
I just-
recommend now.
I just
after
want
you
everybody-
recommended that one.
I just want everybody to know, okay? I was the last one of us to start reading fan fiction, okay? So in the beginning, I was taking recommendations from Holly and Tracy on what ones they liked. And then I just went off the rails. And so this was one of the first ones that I had read first that you guys hadn't read that I convinced you to read. So I feel very proud about this.
Yep.
It's almost like my little
You
baby,
should.
even though I did nothing for it. I didn't write it. I just want to be like, it's mine. I did it.
You
Good job.
shared it. You shared it, and it was a success.
Anyways, thank you for reading it.
Mhm. It was so good.
Thank
I
you,
loved
Accio
it.
Saucy, for writing it.
Yes. I agree.
Anyways, so who wants to start? Who wants to say what?
I just liked how we started off so strong in the smut department, chapter 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love
chapters
that smut
1 through
too.
23, it was all smut. But, it just, it wasn't bad smut. It was really good smut.
Even
It was.
drugged, he makes sure that she has an orgasm first. Like, gold
That's
star,
right.
man.
Good boy. Good boy. We like that.
Oh boy.
Oh, man. This story just kept me hooked the entire time. I love that, it's kind of scary to think about that it's like, you go into a classroom that you trust. I mean, obviously, what an idiotic thing to do to just drink a potion, but it was labeled as invigoration, and it's probably a leftover potion that somebody made too much of and they just corked it, put it on the shelf, right? I still feel like in my head, there's no way I would have done that. I would not have drunk it.
Like you still smell it first. Like you
Right?
Yeah, and
Yes.
it smells like
and it
Uh,
smelled like Amortentia.
yeah. So you would
Yes.
be like, that's not normal.
And I'm like, come on, Hermione Granger, brightest witch of our age. Not at that moment. But I'm so glad she wasn't. And so is
Okay.
she by the end.
Can
But
I?
we love a petty Draco.
Yes, I was
Oh,
just about
so
to say.
much.
I love how she's like, no, don't do it. And he's like, and
Oh,
he does it anyway.
But you don't tell me what to do.
God.
Me, I do that. I would do that. Like it's
would.
like the fact of like
Oh.
somebody telling me not to do something that makes me want to do it more. I'm like, why can't I? Why
You
did
are
you
so
say
like
no?
that.
I know.
You are so like that.
I
Oh
laughed.
my gosh.
I'd be like, I don't care. I'm gonna take it. And so I laughed. I'm like, me too, bro. Me too. But he was still such a gentleman about it because he like didn't want her to regret it. Was like trying to get her to
Yep.
leave. Like
He was
before
trying
anything
to
happened. He
include-
was so good.
Yeah, he was trying to occlude the entire time to get her out of there. But, not a bad thing that
Makes
she
my
didn't
heart
leave.
so warm.
Such a gentleman.
No, makes my heart so warm.
During right before their throw of passion, she goes, "Take me." Every time, okay, this is stupid, but every time a fic says this, one of them says this, she says it, whatever. I always think of How to Train Your Dragon. Do you know what I'm talking about from the second
No?
movie?
No,
Oh, I've only
Okay.
seen that one once though, because it makes me
I don't think
sob
I've ever seen the
uncontrollably.
second one.
Kristen
So good, watch
Wiig.
it.
Okay, Kristen Wiig is so freaking
Oh my
hilarious. Okay,
god.
she
Isn't she, like,
she's
tapping
one of
out
the
or something?
twins, right? With the big long dreadlocks, whatever. And they're sitting on their twin
Braids.
dragon, her and her twin braids. That's what I mean. It's hilarious. The stupid thing. And I see it in my head every time a fic says, take me. I picture her doing this, take me. She says it, yells it at the bad guy because she's looking at his muscles and she's looking at his face and she thinks he's hot. And then he's trying to capture them. And so he throws a net at her dragon and she goes, take me. It's
Hilariously,
stupid.
I've really I do remember that. Only
I
seeing
have
it once.
to send it to you now. I have to send it so you
I
can
don't think
see
I've
it.
ever seen that movie.
Oh my
And
gosh.
wasn't Kit
Okay,
Harington the bad guy in that? Wouldn't he voice the bad guy?
I don't remember.
I know Kit Harington
That I
was in
don't
the
remember.
second one. He's Jon Snow, and I love Jon Snow. It's fine. You need to watch Game of Thrones. Anyway, as she's doing that, I did write in here, right in chapter 1, right off the bat, ... fucking. That's what
Starting
I
off with a
wrote.
bang.
I was like, oh, but okay. And this is a totally personal preference, and this is not any way bad, but I hated the amount of words. There are times they used the word pussy. I
Oh,
hate
I
that
liked that
word. See, and that's personal preference. I don't
like
know
that.
why, but I hate that word. If he says it about her, that's fine. But when I'm like when it's in her point of view, and I think at one point it was like my pussy lips, and I went,
Yes,
oh,
okay.
no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I agree.
I don't like that. It takes me out for a second. I'm like, okay, and then I have to concentrate again.
Okay, wait. Do you not refer? What do you refer to yourself as then?
I don't know. I don't call it a pussy though. I'm sorry. That word
Holly,
to me.
do you? Do I what?
Call it a pussy?
No. I thought we
Vagina?
knew what I called it. No. You guys know what I call it.
I remember. Okay.
What I prefer.
Weird. Anyways.
Sorry, I was watching this video to see if it had it, and it had it. Hold on.
To me, that pussy is the equivalent to the word moist for me. Moist is fine, but I don't like that word, and I don't know why. So I don't know. I'd rather him say cunt. I'd rather him say that. That's just me.
That's
Oh my God.
that's the word that I like. So also, if you watch this little clip, it's only a minute, but it starts at 40 seconds. So it's only 20 seconds long.
I swear to God. Are you really gonna make me click this link
I
to
clicked
watch?
it.
Yes. It's really stupid. I just watched it and I went, oh, it's not as funny as I always think it is in my head.
Oh my God.
It's funny.
I won't lie. Hiccup is attractive in number 2 and on,
Uh-huh.
and I'll die on that hill. Anyway, back to
Anyway, yep. But I think of take me. Whenever that line comes up. It's funny in my head. It's fine.
but it's accurate.
Mhm.
Because that's what they're doing. So
Yeah.
Sorry, Carrie Ann looked ready to throw down.
I was just gonna say I'm going back to the fic because I love Draco. This entire fic tugged at my freaking heartstrings the entire time. And chapter 2 was the one that hit me the most because they were talking about why they would want to take the potion again. And he just was like, it was nice to just forget for a while. Don't you just want to give him a hug? And be like, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
You can forget with me.
Mhm.
He just
Yeah,
was
Why
so well written in this one. I felt like he was very regretful, just the way that his character came across. I just liked this Draco a lot.
Yeah, I wrote down the quote, I think from chapter 2. Real love could be painful, but fabricated love was only joy. And I'm like, oh boy, these guys are going to get in deep. Pun intended.
I liked how right away there was a mystery. Just right away I was like, oh, a mystery is afoot is literally what I wrote. And so I got really excited because I was expecting this to just be just porn. I wasn't expecting it to be a story. And then I I was very because I didn't read any of the tags. I don't read tags when you guys
I
send
don't
me something.
either.
I just go for it.
I
I
like to read the tags. I think
which
it's
is
fun.
good, but I was like, this is gonna be interesting. I gotta figure out what it is. I did not figure
Yep.
out who it was, by the way. I was
Right?
very
Okay,
impressed with
we're
the
gonna get into
author.
that, but I just have
Yes,
to
we
know.
will.
Mhm.
I never guessed it. I know Holly
Mm-mm.
didn't guess it. You didn't guess it either?
Nope.
Okay, good. We'll get into that
That's
later. I just
so
needed to know.
funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
I was
Did you guys
quite
have
impressed.
guesses of who it was
Yeah,
yeah.
and I was way
beforehand?
off.
Okay, me too. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think I was way off, but yet
I was
I
I
way
feel
don't
off.
like
think so
everybody was way
either.
off. Anybody
I
else
was
was
way
way
off.
off.
Well, we'll get to that
Okay,
then.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I won't say anything. I'll tell you. Okay. So I laughed. At one point, I don't even know what chapter this was. It was early on though. She was saying something or they were talking to each other right before they took the potion again. And they were saying, like, you know, that this is like unethical. And I was like, the way I would jump his bones would be unethical because he's just like so sweet the whole time. And like,
He was very like consent king, even
yes,
with the potion. So
yes. And doesn't that just make you want to love him? And that made Hermione, it made me want to hit her multiple times because like you can tell that he is being genuine and like
Yeah.
just wants to like be with you. And she's like, well, this is love potion Draco and not the real Malfoy. It's like the same person.
But
just-
you know, at the same time though, they did just get out of this war.
Yeah.
You know, just barely. His dad was horrible. He has the dark mark on his arm. Like he was a Death Eater. I would probably have the same reservations. But I mean, at the same time, if he was welcomed back into going to Hogwarts and not in Azkaban or, you know, couldn't come back or whatever, that would give me some indication that, okay, maybe I can trust McGonagall as much as, you know, she's the one who let him back into Hogwarts. So he can't be all that bad. And so, yeah, I didn't appreciate as much how much she, in the very beginning, she was very, you know, to Draco, kind of.
She just
But-
felt very wishy-washy to me in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
And that's what I think was frustrating. It's like, okay, you can admit that you like him and that you want him, but then you can't like turn around and be like a complete ass. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay to be like somewhere in the middle, but you can't like go from one extreme to the other. It's like, whatever. But again, the smut was top tier. So like you're
Mhm.
getting good in the middle.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all of this.
Yep. I wrote down the quote, she couldn't wait for this day to end so that she could scramble back into bed and touch herself some more.
Me too. Me too. If I was able to think about Draco Malfoy and me banging against a wall, like,
Oh,
yeah,
is this like the alcove?
no,
where it's
this is
like,
the
oh.
beginning. Before she like
Oh.
goes and takes the
Mhm.
potion again
Oh.
with him, she's like
Oh.
thinking about it. We'll get to the alcohol because
Oh,
Because
yes,
I
baby.
wrote that down.
that's a little
Ooh.
further. So
Mhm.
in chapter 3 was one of like because it was the first time that they had sex that he was like, "Tell me you love me," and then they do it again. Like the next time he's like, "Tell me you love me," like she just like is saying it all the time. But then they also like Draco says like making the potion with her has been like a breath of fresh air. It's like you have to think like, yeah, there are real things being said at the same time, and she doesn't acknowledge that until like way later.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, in the
Both are
moment,
saying
you can
things.
understand that she wouldn't catch it,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, that's something I wouldn't overlook. Maybe the "I love yous" I would, but
I mean,
You'll say
there's,
anything
there's like
to get an
there's
orgasm.
different of like I love yous. Like you could say I love you to like a friend, and then there's like the romantic like I love you. So like I don't know. To me, that was like easily explainable. Like yeah, you should just be like I love you. Thanks for giving me an orgasm, man. But not like I love you, marry me, have kids with me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
okay, fair.
Carrie Ann in another life.
What am I doing in another life?
Tracy.
Listen. Since this is now going to be out on the internet,
Took
okay?
me a second.
I'm
I'll have to cut
convinced.
it out.
No, I'm not going to cut it out. I'm convinced, okay, that Tracy and I in another universe are lovers, okay? The way that we bicker sometimes, like I feel like we would be an old married couple. I'm telling you right now.
We would
Oh.
be like, you know how you see old people like on vacation and they're just bickering, like dressed all, I don't know, in vacation clothes, just
That would be
bickering
you and
down the
I.
road. That would be us.
And that's what I'm saying. In another universe, you and I. And that's it, okay? Don't think too hard about it. I have that with quite a few people. I know in other lives I'm with other people, but it's okay. In one of them, you're one.
I thought I was special.
Congratulations. You're still one of them.
So
Okay,
so
fair.
what we're telling everybody that listens to this podcast, if you are a fanfic writer, we need a Tracy and
Oh
Carrie
my
Ann
god.
I will not read it.
alternate universe. Carrie
I
Ann, you would
will
be the
not
one
read
who
it.
would read it.
Okay, listen, I would read it, but that's because I have to know. I can't not know.
Oh my god.
It goes back to like earlier how Draco was like, I'm gonna drink it anyways. Like, I would have to know. I would read it, but you would never get me to admit it.
So funny.
Anyways.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh.
So let's get to the alcove. Unless anybody has anything before that.
I mean, okay, Blaze. They were talking to Blaze before the alcove. I immediately knew it wasn't Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I brought him up. I just immediately knew it wasn't Blaze.
I immediately knew it wasn't Blaze. I was a little mad at how some of the Slytherins acted towards Draco.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yes.
even Blaze was like, I can't be seen with you. It's like, it'll
Yeah,
make me
it
look
was really
bad. It's like,
stupid.
who cares? Like, you all look bad anyways. You might
Yeah.
as well, like.
Mhm.
And so I
And
think
your fiance is trying to get Draco and Astoria together and
yes,
be
you would be together
so,
anyway.
Yeah, like it.
So
I
Blaze
don't
made
know.
me a little mad in this in like
Yeah.
it was all of the Slytherins, really, not just Blaze, but like he made me a little mad. But I loved how he kind of was. I mean, I knew he didn't know that Hermione was listening, but he was the one that was like, "Well, weren't you being chased by Hufflepuff?" So then Hermione got like a little insight as to, like what was going on with Draco because he wasn't going to tell her.
Oh yeah, no. Stubborn.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can talk about
So listen, it was all good. Okay, it was all very good. I had one question though, the whole time I was reading it, and I didn't realize it until the second time I read through this. They are freaking magical beings. Can't they have casted like a silencing charm around themselves?
Yes.
A mufflata or like
absolutely.
something?
Yes, of course they could.
But I mean,
In fact,
that's
I think
not
they do later
voyeurism.
on in this fic. I think they do later on in this fic. Yeah, she
Yeah,
does.
they
She
do,
casts it
yeah.
over. I'm pretty sure she
A
casts it over her
conversation.
and Theo in the library when she's like, "You know that Draco and I are dating," and he's like,
And they do it
And
in class.
in class
Yeah.
for her to talk
"Yeah,
to Draco.
I think Tracy's right. You don't want that because you want the voyeurism."
Okay, listen, but you could still have the voyeurism without like
But they would know.
Mhm.
I don't know. To me, I would have been like, okay, in like the very beginning parts when like you're first touching each other, like that's fine. But like as you get into it, like you're having sex, like you might as well just real quick, like so you could go
Yeah.
crazy. I don't know. To me, I was like, that seems so dumb to me. Like you're making it worse, but at the same
See,
time, whatever.
you know, I am of the opposite mindset there. No, it makes it more fun. You got to be quiet.
Okay,
You'll
so
get
maybe I
caught.
just have such low self-control that I'm like, I would get caught.
Oh, I do too, but that's
Yeah.
the fun. That's the fun of it.
Oh, boy.
Listen, okay, maybe if they were real people, but they're magical. You can take a little bit of like liberties. He makes his wand vibrate at one point. Like you can do things
Oh.
you can't do. And so he could have easily just like, or even like the notice me not, or like whatever it is, like people just like walk by. Like there were so many things you could have done, but they
True.
didn't. You're
And he
magic.
didn't have to tell her. He could have put up the silencing charm or the muffliato charm and just not told her and still told her to be
Yes.
quiet. So
Yeah.
it was for her. It was for her
Yeah.
to. So yeah.
Anyways, besides that,
Is that-
it was
Is
10 out
that
of
the
10.
same? Is that the same night that they go to the room of requirement after the alcove and they
Without a
don't
potion
drink the
and-
potion? Okay,
Yes.
that's when they decide to do that. I like it when they decide.
Because
to
by
do
that point,
and they don't
they've
do it.
already had sex without the potion.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was
Just
it, the
now.
alcove.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
st- I'm
now.
st- I know. I'm still just saying, but like at that point,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why it was like such a big
That's
deal. So,
true.
like you both
Yeah.
already did it, so like I don't know why they were
That's
like
true.
making the room like a bigger deal.
Well,
But I
because
guess I
now
could
they have
because-
a bed.
Well, now that was on purpose, I guess. It's more of
Yeah.
a like we are going to this room to fuck and not
Yes.
like I don't know. It was just more of a purpose
Yes.
instead of the
Spontaneous.
spontaneity of
Yeah.
the
Mm,
alcove.
okay,
Okay.
whatever. I just liked that he was the one that brought up that he wanted to do it without the potion first, because I don't think she would have ever admitted it.
No.
So I
don't
like
either.
that he was the one that
Although-
brought it up.
Maybe she would have eventually because it was her in the beginning when they first made the potion in the room of requirement to, well, why don't we test this out to make sure it works?
I thought
She's
Draco was the one that said to test it.
I'm pretty sure it was her.
It was her.
Because yeah,
It was her.
Trying to
It,
remember
it
why
was
I remember
his
it like that,
idea
but
to make it,
yes.
but it was her that he wanted to vanish it, and she said,
Yes,
"No,
and he was
that-
about to vanish it, and she was like, "Oh, wait.
Oh.
Wouldn't it be more responsible for like the potion maker to test out their potion?" And
Oh.
he's like, "Really?"
Okay.
And I'm
I
like,
must have blocked
"Yes."
that out.
Yeah, she had a little Gryffindor courage there, which was good. I always find it easy in fics to believe that Draco has fancied Hermione for a long time.
Me too.
Because it's like, with how much he spews hatred at her, let's talk about my relationship with my husband when we were 14, and we did the same thing. We hated each other so much, and we were such dicks, and then it turned into playful dicks.
I don't know if that's the phrasing I would use.
Anyway.
I can't relate. I
enemies
hounded
to
Ben
lover.
until he freaking talked to me. I was so aggressive. He did not get the hint. I had asked him out. It was a whole thing. So, anyways.
That sounds so like Ben, though. So
I know. Anyways, we won't get into that. That's a whole other topic. Again, this chapter, didn't they talk about, it was like chapter 6 that again they're talking about like the poisoner and like what they should do. And Draco is jealous. It's pretty obvious that he's like, he doesn't want her to like get the potion with like somebody else. And it's so annoying that she can't see it. She just like thinks he's mad. It's like, no, he's jealous. Read the room. Like, just want to. Anyways,
It's funny. It's so funny.
It drove me up the wall how much everyone hated Draco.
yes.
going.
And you know who drove me crazy?
Ginny.
Besides her, actually. She was number 2. Guess who was number 1? McGonagall.
Oh, I know.
Oh, in the very beginning.
So mad
Yes.
when they go and tell her.
Yeah.
After Draco doesn't want to because he doesn't want to get like implicated, he still goes. And Hermione is very clear on like, we were both victims. And she still asks like Hermione afterwards if like she's okay. It's like, you are an adult. Like,
Yeah.
he is a child. Relax. Like, I know they're not like, but still, like,
At that point, they weren't. But like, trust Hermione Granger. Like, do you not trust Hermione Granger to tell
right.
you if something was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
I was so mad at that one point because earlier or later, Draco explains that like it was in Dumbledore's will that he gets to be brought back, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't think McGonagall wanted to do it." It's like again,
she's smart enough though that she should have realized that, like, okay, if Dumbledore wanted Draco back, that means he deserved a second chance.
Yeah, there's something
and
there.
I trust Dumbledore.
And she should have just like, I don't know. To me, she was very annoying. And like, sure, at the end, she's like happy and like has pride or whatever. But like, clear up until that point.
Here's another thing. Another thing is, I feel like the teachers at Hogwarts would be a lot more aware of bullying going on. And they would have so many more stops that they'd be putting in place of all this stuff. It seems like in so many of these fics, including this one, that it's completely ignored. It's like there's no adults at this school. They don't exist unless you're in the hospital wing.
Drove me nuts? Slughorn. When he asks to be Hermione's partner and Slughorn just like stays silent as like all these other kids are screaming. It's like, you are the teacher in that classroom.
Even gives her an out for it. Like, no, you can brew it with me. What?
Like you are the teacher. You can
he's really dim-witted though.
He is. He's always been that way.
So if anything, he would have been more like, oh, what a good idea. Like, couldn't read the room kind of thing is how I know, how I think of him. But no, you're correct. I didn't like the lack of adults in this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, and also after the war, all these people are hating on the children of Slytherins. Well, the teachers would have like had some sort of assembly in the Great Hall of like, hey, we have all these Slytherins back. I know you hate their family, but they didn't do what their fathers did. so let's, give him a chance. Like, I feel like that could have happened, maybe not in Draco's favor, but
You know
like, they
what I
need
realized?
unity.
I
What?
realized they're talking about the dueling, right? And the little dueling ring and all of that. And they're like, yeah, it's secretive. There's no way that that stayed
No,
secret. There are ghosts
no.
and portraits and all sorts of stuff, but
And
no one
first
stepped
years,
in.
brown nosing first years.
No
Yeah.
teacher
Seriously,
stepped
yeah.
in at one. Like, no,
I
no.
know. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, yeah, there's no way that this would continue ever. Anywhere.
But this story had it, and we shall
Yes.
move on. We shall continue.
This story is still in my top 10 Hermione's.
It's
So
good.
one thing I want to know, why was Cho Chang even here?
I thought the
she's-
same.
She's a year older than Harry.
Then Harry, yeah.
She
She
should
was
have been
gone.
there. She already completed her 7th year in their 6th year when Dumbledore was alive. Like, why
did
was
not
she
realize
even
that.
there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, no, get Cho Chang out of here. Pick another dumb bitch.
I laughed at how she was like, and
Isn't
how's
that-
Harry? I heard he's an Auror. And Ginny's like,
Oh,
I'm so
God.
proud of him. I'm like, me too. I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I would have been a little bit more crass about it though.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
have been like, yeah, I
You
ride
would've.
that dick every night. I'm like something really dumb. But like, anyways. Okay. Sorry. I know we talked about it. How I was kind of mad about the Slytherins and how they all kind of ganged up and they didn't want to be around Draco. Theo to me was kind of a mystery for a little
Yeah.
bit. Because it
Yeah.
felt like he and Draco were friends, but they weren't friends. And it wasn't until like later into the fic that they were like hanging around each other consistently. Did you guys feel that way? Or what? Did
I
just
wonder,
miss it?
I think it's because Theo was kind of along the same path as Draco, not as badly, but I think everybody kind of left him where everybody attacked Draco, everybody left Theo alone, and so he was just lonely. That's kind of the vibe that I got, was Theo was very lonely.
Because
And so
the only thing I can
I see
think
that
of is
now.
that he was doing all the duels. Because they were saying in the beginning it was crazy and that he was accepting like every single one. And so
mhm.
I wondered if that was why he just didn't make an appearance until later. Because I'm like, he has to
Maybe that
obviously be
too.
close enough to Draco because like they're at the Halloween ball or whatever. And he's like
Right.
picking up that.
Well, and he was
Tiny.
probably Theo's second every single duel too.
So, okay. So they probably were
I
closer.
bet. But I got the vibe that it was kind of similar. His situation was very similar to Draco's, where he wasn't being openly attacked all the time like Draco was, but he was being, challenged to duels and all of that crap. So everybody kind of had a target of either challenge him or just stay away from him. Nobody wants to be around him.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he was kind of along the same lines as Draco. And then when Hermione came in, and he knew already, he had made the connection that they had something going on, and he kind of jumped into the ship with them because he was like, I want a friend. That's the vibe that I got from Theo the entire book. So
I loved Theo and Hermione and like the friendship that they like grew over this one.
mhm.
And how
It
like
was
even at
cute.
the beginning I was a little mad that she like kept jumping to conclusions really fast and like was waiting for like Theo to blackmail them almost in a way, but how he was just like, no, you look at my paper, I'll look at yours, and like
Yes,
just wanted
I
to,
loved
yeah,
that.
and like be
And
friends.
I loved the feedback that he gave her, and she's like, how dare you? And it ended up being such good constructive feedback for her that she ended up doing great. She got the first O+ from Slughorn. I just think it's so funny. It's cute. I love the study group that is created from all of it. I
Yep.
like their little friend group. It's just adorable. Tracy's in the friend group.
Oh yeah,
Luna.
Tracy Davis, and she spells it my way too. So I'm so
So
happy.
that's not the only similarity between the two of you. You both have lots of tears.
You're both gay. I'll cut that out, but I couldn't resist. So funny sometimes, and that's how I make it on the internet.
Anyway,
See, my only similarity that I wrote down, and I wrote it down, was they have lots of tears together.
well, appreciated.
Okay, hold
You're
on.
like,
We
"It's nice
jumped
to be
we jumped
appreciated."
ahead to the library group. We missed other things that
Sorry,
happened,
we
okay?
did. You're right. You're right.
Um, I it was when they were in the room, right? And they had, like, their first date where he, like, laid out the picnic and
Cute.
had the
Yes.
thing, and then they stayed in the tent, and it was after that they were like, "Yeah, we're dating, we're,
We're
like,
in
really
love.
doing this. Yeah, we're in
Yep.
love, like,
She
we're really
tells
doing this."
him. Yep.
He becomes more forward with her, and I love that. Like, he starts to be the Draco that I love. Because at one point, he grabs her hand and man, like, he makes her do, the thing. Yummy.
Oh man.
Yummy. And then after that, they also had the library sex where she sucks him off under the table. Like, what
Bold.
more could you want? It was chapter 10. I just want everyone to know chapter 10 was good smut. It was good smut all the way around. But
Oh yeah.
that chapter had the one where they find out that they were like, oh, the poisoner would have to have checked out love potions and their many uses. And she sees Draco's name. And I was a little mad at like how fast she like jumped. Like, I guess I could be okay if like she had a little bit of doubt, but the way that she like completely
Yeah.
shut off and like
Yep.
you just said you're in love with him. Like,
Mhm.
you could take a moment. You could still be like, hold on, I need to process. But she just like shut off, stopped, like, wouldn't let him touch her. I was like,
Yes.
grow up a little bit.
Just
It's
pause,
like,
just
no,
pause and
just-
look at it.
Yeah.
Just let him touch you and be like, okay, let's go through this really quick. And immediately start to communicate. Yeah, rather than
Yeah.
totally
And she
shut
just shut
off.
off. So I was a little mad at her because
Yeah.
you could tell that he was scared of it happening. And then how
Yep.
would you feel if like
Mhm.
your worst fear comes true right before your eyes
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yep.
well, she doesn't trust me.
I mean, I can understand where she came from. I mean, obviously, seeing that would be shocking. And he looks at it and he goes, "Oh nope, there's not another name," and tries to like put it back. And she's like, "Oh, I can tell you're hiding something now. Obviously, whatever." But then it's like, well, why would he even come here and try to look with me? Like, so
True. That's
it's
true.
like, so you got to put all the dots together. But
Well, Halloween ball.
my
wait.
so my next note that I have is who I thought it was. This is when I started suspecting who it was. I thought it was Dean Thomas. That
Did
was my
not.
biggest suspect. That's who I thought it
Really?
was the entire time. I was like, it's Dean Thomas. Oh my gosh. He fit everything. He asked her to the ball. Maybe he wasn't one of the ones that sent her a Valentine. I don't know.
He was not, unless it
It
wasn't,
wasn't
like,
mentioned.
mentioned.
Maybe it wasn't mentioned.
Mine were Michael Corner and Terry Boot, but then those seemed too easy, and so
Mhm.
I was like, that seems too easy. So those
See,
were
okay, mine were Michael and Theo. For like the
Oh, and
longest
so when
time.
Theo showed up, you were like,
Yeah.
I literally, my jaw did drop. I was like, what?
The first time I read it, I was like, I knew it. I knew it. And then
you guys,
oh.
I knew it wasn't Theo when he walked in. I went, he's hiding with Draco. It's not Theo.
See, and I
just glossed right over that point. I'm like, he walked in.
I also glossed over that point, but I was like, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So that's literally
Yeah.
how it was.
No, as soon as it was Theo that walked in, I was like, well, that's not Theo. Uh-oh. Someone's polyjuiced.
Oh my god.
Anyways, that's so far ahead. We are not there yet. There
Yeah,
are
I
other
know. I'm
things.
so sorry.
I want to talk about her parents
Oh my gosh.
because I think there are two ways that her parents would have reacted. I think one, they would have been like a little mad, yes, but they would have been more like, I'm so happy that you're alive. I'm so happy that we have this time together. They would have been like more overbearing and like clingy. And then I think there are these kind of parents where they're like, you've scarred me, magic scares me, and like we cannot relate with you anymore. And I found these parents to be, this is like how I would imagine them to be. I'm like trying to
Yeah.
imagine my life of like, if
Mhm.
my kids did that and then like they came back one day and was like, oh yeah, sorry I did that. I would
Yeah.
be like, what else have
Think
you done
about
to
it.
me?
Think about it with real world things.
Yeah.
They drugged you and they shipped you off to Australia. Like, yeah.
Like a long time drugging
Yeah.
and then one day
Uh-huh.
just showed up and took it all away and was like, sorry, but
Yeah.
welcome
Well,
back, love me.
It
Yep.
solidified when her dad said, well, like that felt so real. Is this even real? I went, oh, I
Yeah.
get it. So yeah,
I
but
know,
it
and it's really sad.
hurts.
So they did a really good job actually mapping that out and showing you, this is what I think it would really be like, and I think so too.
And
I do.
there were repercussions, even though Hermione was like,
Mhm.
it shouldn't have been because of the spell. Like,
Yeah.
it might have really affected their memory long term.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what it did or didn't do. And
Mhm.
so I really liked how the parents were written in this one. And I think even though Harry had to be the one to like tell them everything and get them to come
I
around,
loved that, by the way.
I did too.
I cried.
I
I
did.
just
too.
love
I
Harry.
teared up a little because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's such a good friend.
He's such a good brother.
But
Like,
yeah,
just
but she
Yep.
really should have told.
she should have told them the
She
full
should have
story.
told them. Like I was peeved that she didn't really.
Could she though? I mean,
The
how far
first
into the
time
story would she have gotten before
I-
they
That's true.
were
but-
done?
didn't like I'm saying at this point, weren't there like books written of like the war and like all of that? She could have just left a book.
Or just newspaper,
Newspaper
I'm
clippings,
sure.
Yeah.
like things like that.
Interview.
Like
yeah.
she didn't have to sit there and physically tell them. Like she could have left things. Like she could have even written down her own story
Yeah.
and then left it for them, but she chose not
Mhm.
to, and instead was like trying to just like
I didn't want to worry them.
ignore
Well,
it.
they're
Yeah,
already
like ignore
worried.
it and move on past it. It's like
Yeah.
that's not the way to do
Yeah.
that.
So I'm glad for our brother Harry.
I loved Harry. I was a little
Mhm.
mad that same chapter she didn't tell Harry the whole truth. She's told him like half truth of like, yeah, this happened, but don't worry. Like she could have easily just been like, and Draco and I are starting to see each other. Like
Yeah.
that's an easy sentence, and that would have given him much more time to like
Process.
process and even get Ginny like a little bit more on board. Like I don't know.
She
I
was
thought-
definitely not on her Gryffindor game. This fic.
No, she drove me
But
insane.
I can understand it. I mean, we got to look at the trauma that she's gone through with this war, and she has not had coping time. A few months is not coping time, and then starting school. I don't think. But at the same time, maybe it is because that's probably good for you, to.
But she also equated like when they were arguing at one point. She mentioned, like she put Draco and Fred's death in the same sentence, basically, and I didn't appreciate that
What?
at all. Like she didn't say that he anything Malfoy's killed him, but because he's a Death Eater, Death Eaters killed Fred. I can never trust Draco Malfoy. Basically, that was the gist of it. And that
what Ginny
just-
said.
Yes, what Ginny
Oh,
said. Sorry.
Okay.
And that made me so mad. I was
I
so
really
irrationally angry at that because he had
So-
nothing to do with it.
let's talk about
Yeah.
At least Fred.
let's talk about Ginny because Holly, I know you love how Ginny is written in the books.
Yes.
I
her.
do not. I think yes, Ginny would have been mad. I think she would have had a hard time at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I don't think she
Mhm.
would have had as hard of a time, and I don't think it would have taken her as long to like come around.
No, I thought Ginny was so incredibly petty in this fic, and I hated it.
Like
I
when she's sitting
absolutely
outside the
hated it.
Gryffindor room and they don't give her the
Yes.
password, like that's
Wanted to hold her down on the floor and rip out her red hair.
And, well, Harry
Bitch.
wouldn't have condoned her acting this way
No,
towards
not
Hermione.
I don't
at
think Harry
all.
knew.
Oh, I'm
No,
sure he
he
didn't.
didn't. Of
but
course not. I hate Demelza Robbins.
Yes,
What a
I
bitch.
did not like her at all. Weenie. So okay. Anyways,
we skipped a lot too, by the way.
I know. Let me tell you.
Sorry.
They come back from the holiday. They're on the train. They have a safe word.
Mm.
Like that,
Poppycock.
I love that. And she uses it and he stops immediately, like, good, 10 out of 10. But I loved the rubber sex. I loved when he like calls her a slut, like, yes.
Yes,
Ah.
let's pretend Toxic Draco is making an appearance.
I
Mm.
love that. Like, I know I have a problem, but I love that. And it it made sense. He wants to be in control. His dad just died and he feels like he's like things are out of control. Like I get it. I would have been so willing. I would have been like just made there like a starfish. Been like, what do you want? Like I don't know.
My
And
God.
hey, and it was the same train ride that Justin was doing bad things to Hannah. We gotta
We're
find that out at
I
the
guess
end of
we're
the book.
jumping there now.
Let's back up.
I'm just making the connection.
The Halloween ball was to me a little bit anticlimactic.
Yes,
I wanted like
we have our Cho
whole-
appearance.
Okay, well that
Well,
yes.
we also had the Astoria and Michael.
Yes, and we find that
and
out,
that's
and we
when
figure
I
it kind of
stopped that Michael
furthers
Corner
that
train.
plot. Yeah.
But I wrote down earlier. Oh shit. If I don't get a dramatic like Halloween ball scene where everyone is pissed at Malfoy taking Hermione, I'll scream. And then I put later, nope, I didn't get it, and I was really upset about it.
Did you scream?
No, but internally I did.
Yes.
I wanted some grand gesture, and it came later. But
It
I
came
wanted
later,
ball.
though.
I wanted it at the ball, but that's when Cho got poisoned by drinking out of Hermione's goblet. So
Mhm.
anyway, also
I was a little mad that Hermione didn't tell Draco that until later. And she's like, "Oh, it
Yeah.
just slipped my mind. That he would have been the first person I told."
true.
Yeah.
A little bit later. I'm so sorry. Just a little bit after this. Was this on Valentine's Day? I don't remember. Draco went to the store in Hogsmeade to buy pastries because he remembered her opinions on house elves, and he didn't he didn't want to take advantage of the house elves to have them make something special for her. So he went and got something,
Yes.
and I just swooned.
That was their first date before the tent thing and like the laying out
Okay.
with the stars.
That's
So cute.
Swoon.
so cute.
Personal preference. I went
It is
and kept
exactly-
going.
It's a personal preference. Hey, I just went and I kept going.
Uh,
The rest of it was good, but some of it I was just like, Jesus Christ, I can't do this. So anyway,
So chapter 16, we're getting closer to the end. This was Valentine's Day. So first, though, that chapter starts out with them going to the duel. And this, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I would think after being on the run for so long that Hermione would be a better dueler. Like,
Agreed.
I don't know. To
Yes,
me, she feels
but-
like a better dueler.
but I felt like the author did a good job explaining it. Like, she did not get an outstanding on her OWL for Defense Against the Dark Arts because she was a little bit slower. Some people are just like that. And so, yes, I think it would have honed her skills during the war, but at the same time,
She
I
seems
don't
much of a
know.
novice.
To me,
Was it?
it's like, okay, you don't have to be good at like the offensive, but to me, she would have at least been like pretty proficient at like the defensive, at least like
Yes,
throwing up
I
a
think
Protego.
you're right,
And then during the
yes.
dueling, she just like,
was like
Looks right
losing
out.
focus. And yeah,
yeah, to me, I'm like,
you're right.
I don't know about that, but I still thought it was cute that Draco is like protecting her while also dueling. I'm like, okay, you do that. Because that was also this whole chapter. Okay, I liked and didn't like chapter 16 because they go riding on the broom and she rides in front of him. And like, you know how I feel about that. You want to like back it up on him, like the good stuff.
I do too. Yep.
But then she goes and ruins Valentine's Day. And I'm so mad because she wants to talk about Pansy. And
Oh.
it's like, I understand wanting to get a history, but I also would have been like, you could tell that Draco didn't want to talk about it right then. He even said, like, do we have to talk about this now? Like, you could have been like, you know what? You're right. This is the first time we're out in public. Let's just enjoy this day. But no, she's like, I have to know.
Valentine's Day.
I'm like, why? And she like ruined it. But then they have phone sex later. So like, it was a good chapter. Pretty well rounded.
Yeah. I was
I-
upset when she decided to bring Pansy up. I'm like, why? On your nice date out. Why? Why'd you do that?
You could have
Yeah.
at least waited till you got like back to the castle, even if you like
Mhm.
needed to
True.
talk about it right then. Like, why'd you have to do it
Yeah.
right then, out in public? Like, but Draco should have been a little bit more manly. Been like, no, we are not talking about this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. I really liked that oh god. I can't speak. I really liked how they brought in or how Hermione decided to introduce them to Hagrid first. It's like kind of
Mhm.
dipping their toe into
Yes.
like parading them around like we're friends.
Yes.
Hagrid was smart. At first, you are not. I cannot hear you. You are not. R.I.P.
I thought
keep
she was doing it on
speaking.
purpose.
I'm gonna keep going while she figures it out. But I really liked. I liked how they brought him into it. He was really. Hagrid's just so sweet. He's a giant teddy bear.
Yes. Yep. I agree.
And we still can't hear.
You know, we should do this as a prank one day.
That'd be funny.
Carrie Ann, we can't hear you. Yell louder. We can't hear you. This isn't a prank.
I
Wait.
know.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if it's this though or if it's.
I don't
this.
think so. Wait, speak again.
Hello.
It
I don't
sounded
know.
the same.
Oh my gosh.
But it definitely doesn't sound as good as before.
We're just gonna play around everything. Oh, I think it's working. I think.
Hey, there it is.
That did it.
Yep.
No. Yes.
Oh, there we go.
No?
Okay.
It's working. It's working.
Oh my gosh.
We hear you now.
This is so stupid. Okay. Anyways, all I was gonna say was that I liked how Theo tagged along.
Yes.
I'm like, he was like, "Oh, Draco's gonna apologize. I'm gonna come too." Like,
Yes.
May I?
just
May I?
friends.
That was
They're
so
just,
funny.
Uh-huh.
just best friends. We love that. I don't know. When was that?
I don't write down chapters. Y'all know this.
I didn't write down chapters after Presque Toujours Peur, and Tracy was like, "Come on, guys." I'm
I
like,
couldn't
I'm
keep
gonna
up
do
with
away
you.
with them. Yep, I'm
I
doing away
just-
with them.
Couldn't keep up.
Oh,
So
well, I still do.
so sorry.
Okay, so then they go dueling, whatever. This is when Theo's in the hospital, it's like the paper airplanes are like coming in, and they realize that one of them's from the Poisoner, which I was like, pure luck that that's the one that Theo decided to read, but good for moving the story along. I giggled because Draco tells Theo, he's like, "I know you're bored, but stop encouraging Hermione." Like, they're just friends. You know that he's gonna encourage her to do the worst. But like, I don't know. I guess I know that I don't have experience with a stalker, thank the heavens, but like, I
Yeah.
don't know. You would think that he's been watching up until this point. So it doesn't matter if like the next 2 days you're not seen around Draco. Like he's not stupid. He
Yeah.
would know.
Although when we get to the end, you find out really how delusional he is. So maybe, I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
so skipping ahead a tiny bit with like her speaking to not Theo, I wrote this down because it made me so incredibly sick to my stomach. I was disgusted. He told her, he said to her, "How could I approach you with 2 superior suitors surrounding you?" Talking about Harry and Ron. So he never wanted to go up to her because he was just nothing. I'm just nothing. There were 2 superior suitors just always with you. I was instantly I was so disgusted by that. I don't am I alone in that? Because
Why though?
just the way he's putting her, it's kind of the way he's putting her up on a
Almost as if every male wants to do the same thing to her that he
Exactly.
wants.
I don't know how to articulate
Okay.
it. Just how could I approach you with 2 superior suitors surrounding you? Just I don't
It just comes
I
off that
don't
he thinks
know.
everyone wants her. And so
I
they're like, "Oh,
guess.
Harry
And so it
and Ron
gives
are
you
better."
that vibe of ugh.
It
Just
just
ick.
it made me so queasy. Just
Yeah.
but I don't like reading about like stalkers. So as soon as I realized that's what it was, I was like, "Oh god, this is
Yeah.
But-
not for me."
He was so well written. And like the mystery
Oh, yeah.
aspect of it, you
Mhm.
still don't know who it is.
Oh no.
Like up until clear, like the end, you
Yeah.
have no idea who it is. Like the guessing piece of it is
Yeah.
so like, who could it be? And like he gives you hints of like, I asked you to the ball on Valentine's and I sent you. Like you're like, I don't know who it is.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all.
Also, if any listener did totally guess it, don't make fun of us for not guessing it, please.
Anybody did. That's the thing. I think this was so well written
It
in
was.
the way
It was
that
just
like
so
you
good.
really have no idea.
Yeah. I agree.
Right after that though is when she overhears Padma and Susan like gossiping about
Oh,
her, and Draco comes in and is
I
like,
love
"She's with
that.
me." I'm like,
That's right.
God.
That's right.
The fact that Hermione was physically attacked in the girls'
I
bathroom, though, kind of pissed me off because I'm
me
like,
too.
Hermione,
Yes.
Hermione,
I
Again,
did
going back
agree.
to
Yeah.
protective. Like you
you
I
went
don't
through
know.
a
Like,
war. You're
yeah.
traumatized.
You got caught by snatchers once and you got tortured
Mhm.
You would at least be able to be like,
once.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little bit like, ma'am, what are you
Yeah.
doing there?
But I did think it
Yeah.
was cute though that Padma was the one that came and got her in the
Mhm.
bathroom and was like, I know I don't like you that much, but like I'm not gonna poison you. And they were able to like kind of connect about Theo for a minute. And like you kind of see that Padma's going through her own thing. She's not just a straight up bitch. Like, because that's the vibe you get in
Here's
the
another
beginning.
thing. Here's another thing though too of where the hell are all these teachers? Because McGonagall's coming. Is McGonagall really coming? No.
No.
Of course she's not.
Oh.
So guess what the next step is here? Taking Hermione to the hospital wing and telling on these stupid girls. Like that's just common sense in my head. I don't know. I also thought, hold on. Another thought that I had, the teachers in the ministry, I feel like would set something up because we are literally months post-war. I feel like they would have set something up at this school to consistently be checking the wands of the students for dark curses.
Yeah.
Especially
They
with
go through
the
one.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, if not even all the other students, then at least the Death Eaters. You know, I feel like they'd be coming at least to do that and
Is it
then
like
maybe get
weighing
the
their
thought in their
wand a
head.
thing?
Yeah. And then get the thought in their head of, well,
Mhm.
maybe we need to check others' wands because people aren't happy that these people are here.
Well, yeah, because
So
that previous year they
it's like,
learned from
yeah,
the Caros.
yeah.
So,
And so,
Carrie Ann, what were you saying?
yes,
Yes. I
go.
was just gonna say this was the chapter. Daphne calls her a mudblood.
Yes.
I was a little shocked. I don't know. To me,
I wasn't. She was a bitch.
I know, but like, I don't know. It felt like almost too far.
Well, I think that was the point. Yeah, sorry. I think that was the point to go too far. Because she wanted to say
Yeah.
words that would cut
Yes.
because she was pissed.
Mhm.
All right.
So she was thinking
I
of
don't know, to me-
everything.
That was one of the few
She
times
threw
that I actually
everything.
was like shocked. I was like, oh, holy cow. But apparently I'm alone in that, so whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you are.
Whatever.
Thinking about this fic, it's a really good thing that love potions don't exist because teenage Holly would have had a field day. You know
Oh
how
my
many
God.
boys I would have poisoned?
Man.
My husband being included. Did you just nod your head at me? Oh. I thought he was nodding his head.
I like
Are
how
there
she
any
just
FBI
admitted.
listeners?
Yeah, like she
I
just
promise
admitted
she's
to
never
crime.
poisoned anybody.
Never. I was about to say things like that don't exist. Oh, Holly, there's some bad drugs out there. No, I'm talking about these love potions specifically.
This author
My teenage self.
Oh my God.
this author did such a good job at like how in the beginning the love potion, like Hermione and Draco are both like, we really like this feeling of like escaping, but then they realize as they like go through it that it's actually not like an escape. It's fake. And it's like the author did a really good job of like describing that through the fic in a way that was very natural, of like realizing that it's actually not good for you. And like it's not good for anybody on either side. Like, yeah, if you are the one giving the poison, you think that you get to feel what it's like, but then you realize the second that you get out of it, like that was super fake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just really
Yeah.
liked how it was written.
Mm-hmm. It was really good. I like it when Neville actually joins them in their study group. I love Neville. Neville's one of my favorite characters. I hate it when we have a mean Neville
Mm-hmm.
I
and
love
he
Neville.
hates Draco.
I do. I
Oh.
love Neville. Are we ready to talk about Hannah yet?
Yes.
Because now we're talking about Neville, so I feel like it's
Yeah.
natural to talk about Hannah.
I feel so bad for her.
Because again, I had read the fic. So this time, looking back and seeing all of the little instances of Hannah starting to pull away,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm catching
Yeah.
up earlier. But the first time I read it, I remember being shocked that like I was like, I had no idea that this was coming. And it's crazy that he was using her as
Mhm.
like his guinea pig in a way.
And why? It's like, what?
And
I
it
don't know.
wasn't just like the fact that he was using her as a guinea pig. He was sexually assaulting her.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, so he's testing out the love potion. Okay, I don't want to say understandable, but you know, he had to test it out somewhere.
Crazy. Yeah.
But to assault
Take it
her?
a step farther.
Like that
Yeah.
was that
Well, so was he only using it on her and not himself?
I don't
He,
think so.
yeah, because later
So she
he's
was wanting him in that moment and he's giving it to her. Okay.
yeah, because
And then he
later he
obliviates
says,
her afterwards, right? I
yeah,
think
he
so.
was
Okay.
saying that he tested on like rats first or something like that. And he was like, there were a
Yes.
crazy amount of rats. And then I did it with Cho and realized that it was a little heavy handed. But
Mhm.
then I perfected it with Hannah. So like he was pretty clear about like
Mhm.
who
And,
he
and he didn't
tested it
even
on.
mean to test it on show.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
He intended someone else. So
Which I don't understand why he would just try to do that in front of all these people. She would fall in
I
love with
know.
whoever she sees first, and it's
Yeah.
not likely to be him. Like, I
But the
don't.
way that
He
he
coulda
gave it
made
to
it.
Hermione, because he like shot it up her nose, it's easy. If you
Yeah.
grab someone, like going back to the train, if he were to grab Hannah, pull her in a like car or whatever, and just real quick shot it up her nose, he would know that he's the only one in the car and he could sit
That's
there
true.
and watch it like take effect.
Yeah, that's true. He learned from what happened to Cho.
Yeah.
And so
He learns to get them alone real quick and then give
Yeah.
it to him.
Mhm. So,
Um,
okay.
That's so sad that, we're enjoying our smutty scene when that's happening at the same time on the train. That's so awful.
I I don't know. I really like dark stories, and I really liked how this like was put in. Like, yes, this I felt like was a very dark chapter because you're learning all of this, and like the way Hannah feels of where she's like, I feel like I'm
It's so
like
sad.
ruined, and that's why I like pushed away Neville. Like,
And she thinks that she's cheating on him because she knows that she's been sexually active and she doesn't remember.
yeah,
And she thinks she's the one doing it. She has no idea. And I'm like, that's just so devastating.
And the
But
fact that she felt like she couldn't go
Yeah.
to
tell
like
anyone.
Madame Pomfrey. Or
Mhm.
yeah, or any of her friends. So
Because she
Just-
thought she was complicit.
Coming
Which,
from
yeah.
like, I will be honest, I have had some rough sexual encounters in the past, some non-consensual things. And so coming from that, this chapter was so well written because like I understand all of those feelings of like I don't want to say anything. I feel like I'm the one that's like doing something wrong even if like you're not. Like Hannah was doing nothing wrong. And I also thought it was very well written how Hermione wanted to help and like wanted like the first thing she said was, well, let's go get you to Madame Pomfrey. Let's get you like the contraceptive stuff. And she immediately was like, no, like you said you wouldn't tell anyone. I get that. And so like I really liked how everything was written because it was very
Yeah.
it just rang very true, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
But I like how Hermione immediately was like, okay, I'm not going to go
Leave
get
you
Madame
alone.
Pomfrey. Let me go get Susan, your best friend.
Yeah.
So maybe, like
Mm-hmm.
she'll take care of you. So
Yeah.
It was a very heavy chapter, but it was a very well written chapter. So I just want to
Mhm.
give Akio Sasi 10 out of 10 for that
Yeah.
specific chapter. You did such a good job. I would just
Yeah.
like to put that out there.
Moving on, I don't think Draco would have attended his Newt exam
If he
as
felt
soon
the
as
thing buzz,
Hermione. Hold on, as soon as Hermione didn't show up, I think he would have already known something was wrong. And had he decided to stay in his Newt to continue it, he would have absolutely gotten up and left after the
they don't take
galleon.
newts together. I thought that was singular. I thought it was only
So
one
he
person
didn't-
in a room.
But then how would he know that she didn't show up?
Maybe
Because
he
she wasn't
asked.
waiting, or
Maybe because I think he went first, and that's why he didn't answer the galleon call.
okay,
And maybe when she didn't come out at her her time is when he asked.
okay.
That was my
And so he thought she
interpretation.
was there and then was confused by the burning of the galleon and then realized that she wasn't afterwards.
Mhm.
Okay. That makes more sense then. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, No. He wouldn't have even gone into his newt had he known that
Right,
she wasn't there.
exactly. If
Because
he knew.
we
so
know
that's-
Hermione Granger.
Yeah.
So
Which, again, Ginny, I understand like being a little like suspicious, but if again, she's known for a while that Hermione and Draco are like a thing. So if Draco were to come to her and been like, I can't find her, instead of like throwing little jabs, I would have been like,
No.
oh, really? But it's until he says she missed her newt that she's like, oh,
Oh shit.
this
yeah.
could be serious.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have clicked a lot sooner for her. Because again, she's known for a while. She was even in the process of being
that's
like,
why
"You
I'm like,
should,
no,
And he's
she's
never-
just she's
Bridges."
petty.
yeah,
Well,
and
she's
he
really
never
petty.
ever came to her. And
Right.
like
He
Mhm.
never talked to her before.
Yeah.
you would
So-
know that it's serious. So that was the only point that I was like, I don't know why. I don't feel like it would have taken Ginny that much, but I am glad that at least she was she did go get the map. She found out where he was and went with Draco instead of just being like, here's where she is, bye. Like she went, which is good.
Yeah.
Can I first say that having a Ginny POV was very much like, what the fuck? It was
was a
very
little jarring for a
whiplash.
second.
Yep.
I was
I
very
thought
like,
so
oh,
too.
okay.
Yep. I was like, wait,
This
what's
is new.
happening?
Yeah.
Yep.
I wish it was in
Mhm.
Draco's. Is that sad? I wish it was in Draco's point of view so bad. Just that one chapter, I would give my left arm. Accio Saucy, if you are
I was
listening,
gonna say,
Oh my God.
please write that chapter from Draco's point of view, and I
Just
will give
send
you
it to
whatever you
her.
want. I'll give you whatever you want. I don't have a lot of limits if you haven't learned by this point. Like, please. But anyways, so they go down in the, the dungeons or whatever, and they're being quiet and they get caught off guard. Whatever. I laughed out loud. Draco goes, "Who the fuck is Justin?"
Okay, I wrote it down on here. I crossed it out multiple times, if you can kind of tell, because I forgot how to fucking spell his name. So I
Justin
put
Finch
Justin
Fletchley.
Finch Fletchley. I got it wrong twice, and I had to cross it out. He was so forgettable. I forgot how to spell his name. That was my note. That was my note.
I loved their description of him. The whole thing, they're like, oh yeah, he was
He could be
nobody.
anybody.
Literally faded into the background. He wasn't skinny. He wasn't fat. It just,
He was there.
yep.
I loved how Draco was trying to be calm, was obviously, just trying to buy time because he knew they told
Yeah.
Neville to go get McGonagall. So like he knew at some point someone's gonna come down. And if he can keep him talking, then he's not doing anything to Hermione. I was
Yeah.
like, that's so smart. The way he's
I'm not
thinking
gonna
about going
lie.
about it.
I started tearing up when he started losing his control.
Me too.
It made me so sad. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is devastating. Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
When Ginny describes him as a rabid,
Yeah.
a chained rabid animal, I'm like, I
Yes.
think that would be the moment I would just
Uh-huh.
I would just die. Like to see that, I would physically not be okay.
No.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Why are we so attracted to that?
Broken? I don't know.
I'm
Broken.
like, I would love to see a man go that feral for me, but
Gosh,
but-
I would give anything. Anyways.
Gosh.
It was good the way that they had Ginny get the wand and how it didn't respond to her.
Yeah.
I was really glad they put that in there. It's not your wand. It's not going to respond right away. It did respond at some point, and then she gave it back to Malfoy. Cute. I do like the idea of it being Ginny that was the one that stunned him, and then Draco
Yeah.
had to stun Hermione.
Yeah.
I think that was very cute. I also could have seen Ginny walk up and be like, I know this is hard for you. Let me do it real fast. But she didn't, but that's fine. It's it could go either way. It's fine.
I liked it when he stunned her and she fell on top of Justin
and they immediately grabbed her.
immediately grabbed her and pulled her as far
Fixed
away
her
from
shirt. It was just holding her and pushed her hair out of her
him.
face.
Yes.
So
It was so sweet.
I imagined him because it mentioned the hair, it mentioned whatever. I imagined gently rocking her, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
After that traumatic experience for him. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
okay. I loved all of that. Let me tell you one thing that I was very annoyed with. But again, it's in line with the Hermione of this story. She wakes up. Not from the nightmare, from she's really waking up. Ginny and Harry are there. Draco's holding her hand. You can see in his face that he's tired and you've been dating him for who knows how long. Like, you can read him pretty well. She doesn't take just a single moment to like look over and be like, I love you. I'm with you. Let me get my answers. Like, she could have easily, she didn't say anything until they were alone.
I didn't even realize that he was there because immediately it was Harry. Because immediately she was like, "Oh, Harry." I didn't realize that she had even seen him. I would have been searching for him immediately.
Immediately.
but-
Yeah.
The way I would have been like dropping to like reassure him and be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean what I said. We're gonna talk about this. I need answers. But like, I just a simple I love you would have been
Just
plenty.
any
But she didn't say
acknowledgement.
anything until they
Yeah.
were alone. Can you imagine the like stress that he's going through
Yeah.
of like the last thing she said to me was that she hates me, and like who knows? Like, she called me like I was a little
Yeah,
annoyed
you
with
know, no wonder it took him 6 years to propose. Ugh.
that. Yes.
Is that how long it was? 'Cause I don't
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
seeing a date.
I think it was
It
6
was,
years.
yeah, it said at the end 6 years.
I mean,
5 years
it's not.
living together.
They were together the whole time though. So I mean,
Um,
I'm just being petty.
later in that chapter, they go to the like Weasleys for dinner, and I just laughed. We have siblings. I think it's really funny sometimes to like read these interactions. Ron is like mocking Draco. It's like everything is delicious, Mr. Weasley.
Yeah, I loved that too. That was so
I can like
funny.
hear it in my head.
Yes. Oh, that made me laugh so hard.
Oh, I thought it was very cute.
Well, I like
Yes.
how they put Draco between Ginny and George because that was absolutely on purpose. Because they, like, to me, that was on purpose. That's one of the best ones to seat them to, and also give him hell the entire time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, like, because they're
Mhm.
going to be nice to him, but Jesus Christ, sitting next to Ginny and George, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to be there. So,
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about Narcissa because I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
Because she pissed me the fuck
Uh-huh.
off. Okay? Because was it earlier? Hold on. I may be getting another fic mixed up because again, I did finish another one today. Was it earlier that he was saying that his mom wanted him to find love? Okay, that's a different fic. Never mind. Never mind. But like still, like you would think that if she's not pushing him into the betrothal with Astoria, that she would want him to like pick someone of her own. So the
Right.
first instance that she gets with Hermione, she tries to bribe her away instead of finding out more about
But-
her is annoying to me.
But at the same time, it's showing you who Narcissa Malfoy is, and she is making 100% absolute sure
that Hermione
that
loves
this
Draco.
girl loves Draco.
Okay, but on the off chance that she does, you've just pissed off your daughter-in-law because she thinks that you're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to get rid of her.
She
with
doesn't
bribes.
care. She doesn't give a shit. Are you kidding?
Hermione, being the strong woman that she is, would have been like, I'm withholding grandchildren. Like, I don't know. I would have been like, don't piss me off. But she did. I don't know. Narcissa to me was like, it was almost like, again, going back to like how I felt with Daphne, it was like almost too far. Like,
Yeah.
like she like continually brought up the bribe and things. It's like, okay, if you need to do it like once, that's fine. But she like kept hammering the point until
Yeah.
Hermione like,
Well,
snapped.
and then when they're really together, you know, and 6 years later, and
she's
she's
a little
trying to-
manipulative.
yes, very much so. And
Trying to get
trying
her
to
to get the
bribe
house.
her to go in. Yeah. So yeah, she wasn't my favorite character either, but at the same time, I feel like she was closer to what I imagine Narcissa Malfoy actually being from the books. I imagine Narcissa Malfoy as this.
To me, this is much closer than a lot of other fics that
Yeah.
have her being disapproving of Hermione, because I don't really like those as much.
I don't either.
But
To me, Narcissa is a sweetheart, and she loves Draco so much that she just loves Hermione. To me, that's it. I will accept nothing less.
I feel like
that's
the only
the good
fic-
world.
The only fic that I've ever fully believed, like, oh, this is a Narcissa Malfoy I can get behind, is the Rights and the Wrongs series, the auction. That's the only good Narcissa Malfoy that I feel like was written so well as good that it was believable. Everything else, I love it. I love it when Narcissa Malfoy is a great person, but I don't believe it. I truly just don't believe it.
Well, and even in
So-
Remain Nameless, she was kind of a bitch.
Oh, she's awful.
so-
She's awful and Remain Nameless, but at the same time, she disapprovingly gives her approval. Like, I mean, but yeah.
Well, it's because she's a mother-in-law and knows that if I don't,
Withholding
you
the
know,
grandchildren.
Yeah, if I don't get on board, I'll never see my son again. So
Yep. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
No.
This one was a lot more believable as far as Narcissa Malfoy went, I thought.
It did piss me off until the very end when she like good yeah, she was pissing me off the entire time she was trying to, bribe Hermione to dump him cuz come on. You really think that Hermione Granger wants money? Come on.
Right.
She's not a gold
Mhm.
digger. When she basically like left with her like come back anytime. Like that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, okay. So she was absolutely trying to get Hermione riled up because
Yeah.
she wanted to see how she really felt. And so
Yep.
that's immediately what I got when she left.
Manipulative.
So I was like,
Oh,
oh, okay, she's fine.
It's funny. So this is going back to one of our earlier conversations about why they wouldn't just cast a Muffliato on the alcove, remember? I wrote this down. They cast a Muffliato at the amusement park. They're at the amusement park. She cast a Muffliato over their group while they're waiting in line to go on a roller coaster because she didn't want any of the muggles to hear any of the wizarding jargon that they might say. And I'm going, dude, people talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about all the time. And it doesn't even cross my mind that, wow, could they be from like some magical world? No. Do you know what they do? They do what we do right now. They read fan fiction. That's what they
See,
do.
the only thing that I can think of is like, okay, well, what if they said a magical term, people would just be like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Yes.
they wouldn't like they would hear it in passing and be
And
like,
they
what the
go,
fuck?
oh, maybe they play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, like it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Yeah.
I laughed hysterically though at Draco winning her the unicorn, and she's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I saw
Yeah.
all of that, you asshole. So
I
So
loved when
funny.
Theo gives Padma the keychain, and she's like, "Oh, did you cheat too?" He goes, "No, I just nicked it." Like,
Awesome. Oh,
funny.
it's so funny.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, I just love Theo.
I
love
like
Theo.
I like Fix where they go into the Muggle world and they do stuff like this.
Yep.
There's another really good fic from Wiltshire with Love that they do a ton of stuff in the Muggle world, and it just pulls at my heartstrings because Draco in the Muggle world is so much fun.
I love that. Sorry, but I do love the fact that Hermione bought a photo of all of them on that roller coaster because they were all in different like points
Yes.
of like the three that were used to roller
Yes.
coasters were fine, but Draco looks like he's trying not to like die. And yeah, so I love
Love
that
that.
for them. I love that. For
I
them.
just
She
I
would
loved the ending
would
of this
frame it.
story.
Yeah.
Just like the way that like everything was
Yeah.
like
It
the
was cute.
epilogue and
It
just like I
wrapped up.
really I loved the ending of this one.
I loved that Theo went into business with Hermione. I
Yes!
was so happy
I
that she
love
asked him,
that.
and I'm like, it just tied it around nicely, like a beautiful gift to us. That their cute little study group.
We didn't
that
have
they
to
had.
assume anything, so it's my
No.
type of ending.
It was
Well,
great.
And I liked it because Hermione hired an elf. And
That was so I really
was
liked
like,
that.
oh, this is so nice. This is so nice. So and Astoria marrying that like Muggle
Muggle.
engineer. And I was like, oh, and that's actually really smart because they're trying to integrate magical and Muggle technology.
Which I
Getting
honestly,
a Muggle
I feel like
engineer.
I think there should be more fics out there that actually has that, because I'm like, okay, let's be real here. I feel like at this point, if we're post Hogwarts battle, like 10 plus years, they'd have phones of some sort. They'd have so many things that muggles have that are so much easier to use and so much faster. Like they just would, because they're wizards. Like we
Mhm.
make things easier. Magic
If
makes it all easier.
If Hermione Granger can make a telephone out of fake galleons,
Yeah.
why isn't this everywhere?
Here's another good fic recommendation. So there was my other one earlier. A Year in a Day. I think that's what it's called, is A Year in a Day. That one was really cute. She's super innovative, and coming up with lots of stuff like that. So that's another good one. Just recommending more. That's all.
Anyways, you guys have anything else you want to say? Yeah, anything else you want to say
Yeah.
about this fic? I really liked it. I really,
Mhm.
really liked it.
It
I
was
think sometimes
nice and fluffy.
yeah, I think sometimes the way that like I come across with like saying things makes it seem like I don't like it. No, I really liked this one.
Yeah, I
I-
did too.
Recommend this to most people if they're like trying to get into fan fiction. This is one that
Mhm.
I'm like, this is a really good one to read.
Absolutely.
Like This was
It's got
just
enough porn.
yeah,
It's
it was very well written. Just
Yep.
like
Mhm.
and it wasn't the signet ring, but it was the ring. Like
I was
they
wondering.
had some
It
inappropriate
was a
moments.
metallic
There was
ring.
a vibrating ring. They had anal. Like,
It
what more could
vibrated?
you want?
A
Oh,
vibrating
not the
wand.
ring. I meant
Okay,
wand.
okay. I was like, wait, what?
Like, there were
Okay.
so many little things. Even just again, one of my favorite moments was Theo at the end saying that he nicked it. Like, I don't know why that part stands out to me, but I laugh every time I think about it. So, like, this fic was just 10 out of 10.
It was.
It was
Yep.
very, very good. And again, if you're listening, I would give my left arm for you to write that chapter in Draco's point of view.
Accio Saucy. Get
Please
on
and
it.
thank you. Please and you don't have to put it out for everyone else. You could just email it to me. I'll take it. Like, it's okay. Doesn't need to be baited or anything. Like, just whatever you want to write me, I'll take.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Also,
Anyways,
any narrators out there, this is a perfect
this is a
one.
good one. And
I
it's not out
love
there yet.
listening to audios. It's not. I've looked. I look extensively when I look for fics to listen to. I'm like, oh, is this one out there? Is this one out there? And I've even branched out from Spotify because people are taking their stuff off of Spotify because stupid Spotify. Dude, are they going to do that with ours? Are they
No
going to take our
idea.
voices and translate them
idea.
into different languages and with AI and make them sound like us? I don't
No
either.
idea.
I don't know.
I
Okay.
honestly don't actually care, but
Any final
AI is
thoughts, Holly?
stupid.
Tracy?
AI is stupid and we don't support it.
no.
Okay,
That's,
so what you guys
that's my
reading?
thought.
What you reading?
I'm reading a lot of things, and I'm
Okay,
wanting to
name
read a
one.
lot of things. I'm reading Madame Umbridge Home for Wayward Girls still. I haven't finished it because I had to go back and finish this one that we were reading so that I could take all my notes. I am so close to being done. I have like 7 chapters left, but that's still like
A lot of words.
that's like almost 200,000 more words. Like, oh my goodness. Let me tell you though, this is one of the most well-written fics I have ever read. This is top tier. This is up there by The Dead of Time. Like, it is so good. It's so good. I love it. So, Carrie Ann will never read it. That's okay. Tracy, I hope it stays on your TBR for a long time.
We will stay. We shall see when I get to it.
Eventually, if you do,
Eventually.
it's really good. I'm wanting to read Ice Planet Barbarians.
Do it. I have no other words but do it.
I've been a little obsessed thinking about those
Me
big blue
too.
aliens lately.
Me too. I'm about to do a reread. I'm almost out of things. I'm about to reread them. I don't even care. It'll be like my 3rd time.
That's currently like okay, I'm going to me. I'm currently not really reading anything, but I have been reading all the Ice Planet Barbarians and Ice Home that I'm almost done. Now that I finished this fic, I'm gonna start the next book, which I think is Nadine's book. I do not remember, but why do you have that look on your face, Carrie Ann?
That one.
Oh, okay.
That one.
I'm very excited because because that's the Red Twins clone
Mhm.
and how they were both going for Angie. Immediately I was like, ooh, I'm really excited for the other one because whoever he's with, there's gonna be jealousy and I'm here for it.
I love
So,
that one.
Anyway, that's it. I did just read the Devi's and I really liked Devi's book.
That
So-
okay, I'm telling you, I have a type. Okay, I have a type. It's pretty obvious. I like the brooding, the dark, the like kind of grumpy ones. Okay, and I'm calling him Endek. Endek. That's how like
Ndek.
I would.
I said Ndek.
It's N''DEK. So
Ndek,
like,
yeah.
however, Nadek, however you want to say it. He is my type, man. Like the way he's like grumpy and mad, but then she like pushes him to like get up and like do things. Like, oh, I could read that book over and over. I love that one. Anyway, so we're not gonna go on about. I could spend an hour talking about all the different Ice
Yeah,
Planet
you could.
Barbarians, like all
so
of the
good,
different
Holly.
stories.
Just they're so good,
You know what?
Holly.
I could give you
Read them.
recommendations for the Space Pirates one. If you want to read the Space Pirates and
my
like the things
gosh.
that happen in like I could give you all of those. There's a planet where women go because they, can't go home. Because at one point, Earth blows up. It's like they can't return home.
Oh my word.
And so there's like a farming planet that they like take people to, and they like have to get married because people are like trying to take their farms. And so like it's just cute.
We like forced
Ugh.
proximity stuff. Can't
Because-
you tell?
Because the ice planet and ice home, they specifically have the little cooey that like makes them like
Like
Cooey.
faded.
Is that
I
what you call
say-
it?
yes,
I
the
say
cooey.
queen. I say
I was gonna
queen.
say the people who narrated it, because I listened to the first two, say Quee.
Listen, I will tell you why.
Cooey.
Because in one of the
That's
books,
true.
in one of the books, they call it a cootie. So if you think about it,
In the first
how are
book, they do.
hear it? Yeah, how are you
In the very
hearing,
first one. Yeah, that's true.
like cooey,
Cooey.
cootie.
Cootie.
So anyway,
yeah.
That's true.
I stand by
Okay.
that. In the other books, they don't have that. So you have to find a way to get them to be together. So it's just so good, okay? I love them. Sorry, is it my turn to talk about what I'm reading? Because I haven't done that
Yes,
yet.
absolutely.
I just finished Curses, Banter, and Babies. Oh my. That one's pretty good. It was pretty short. Like 80,000 words. And then I also just finished The Best Mistake. That one they like just completed today.
Oh.
Very pregnancy trope. Also, okay, I don't want to give too much away. I like that one, Holly. You should read that one, okay? Because listen,
I thought you were going down this road.
listen,
Like, hang on.
there's a villain in this one, okay? And it is not who you think. And just Theo, it's good. You have to read it. It's a good one, okay? Anyways,
The Best Mistake.
it's on our fic list.
Perfect.
I haven't updated it, so it probably still says work in progress. But anyways, they just finished it today. I don't have a ton on like my well, that's a lie. I have a lot on my TBR. Am I gonna read them? Probably not. I'm probably gonna go back and read Ice Planet Barbarians because now we're talking about it.
Yeah. Well.
I've been a little busy watching like stuff. Because
Yeah.
again, Love is Blind. I have to watch it. I have to know. It's trash, but I have to be a part of that trash. I can't not be a part.
I did just get a book. I'm so sorry. I just got a
What
book and
book?
I'm very excited. It's called Bride by Allie Hazelwood. It is the book that
Is introducing people to nodding.
and
I
I'm
need to read it.
so excited.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
When
need
I
to read
first
it.
saw like
That's
that there
right.
was nodding, I was like, sold. Say less. But because fan fiction here, but the TikTok
Right.
I keep seeing of people being like, "What the fuck is nodding?" It's so funny. It's so funny
So
to me.
it's funny. So when I remember, Tracy, when I first came across the first alpha, I
Yes.
even understand what I just read. I had read a one shot and I'm like, I don't get it. Are they animals? What the hell? What is going on? And then I
remember
found
this,
another
actually.
one and I was like, Tracy, you should read this one. It's really dumb. And you did, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty dumb.
I didn't even
but it
finish that one.
It was another one, and it really went into it. I go back. I still like that one. It's so dumb. I love it. I love it. Anyway, and it was super alpha, beta, omega, right? And that just sent me off on my train of, whoo, let's look up lots of these fics and let's read them all. And then, of course, I found All You Want by Senlin Yu and went, this is the same person that wrote Manacled? What? It's amazing. I love that one.
I sent you a screenshot of the tweet she recently did, right? Of
You sent it to both
oh
of
my
us.
I
God.
don't remember.
Oh my god.
You said it was
It was
like
yeah,
a fever
okay, it
dream.
was
She has no idea
the-
what she
That's right.
any
yes.
plot in that was coincidental. I was laughing so hard when I saw that.
Yeah.
I loved the notes that she left in it. Her author's notes in that fic were so funny. She's like, this fic's gonna be about 50% Hermione smut, about 20% this, 20% that, and she's like, and 100% trash. It's so funny. Oh, made me
ABO
laugh.
isn't for everybody,
It's
but it
for
is for
us.
us.
Yeah.
So, it's for us.
Oh.
There's currently one that needs to they need to update. They need to update, but they said in their notes that this is one that I will only sometimes be coming back to, and I cried when I read that. It's fine. because they haven't even gotten to any good ABO part. No smut yet. Just story building. It's fine. Anyway, sorry, I'm in denial. It's all right.
Anything else?
I'll shut up about it.
Okay. Well,
I think that's it.
join us next time as we talk about To Brew a Scandal by Stars in
I'm excited.
Motion. Didn't we pick this because
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton, the
Yep.
We
season's
did?
coming out?
Yes.
'Cause
Okay.
obviously
Yeah.
we need to like celebrate because we love Bridgerton here. Holly, watch it.
I know. I'm
Holly.
sorry.
Holly.
Holly,
I
watch it.
know. Ugh.
I'm not
too
a
busy
season.
reading Hermione.
Just put Hermione in these characters, okay? Just imagine Hermione in the characters. But season 1 is good at that.
I am
Just
telling you right now,
imagine-
you know that I don't really like the period pieces and stuff like that. I love Bridgerton.
Bridgerton's in.
You're gonna love this fic.
I've
Bridgerton.
read another one that's like Pride and Prejudice, but I haven't read this one. So anyways,
I started this one today since it's the next one we're doing, and I made it 3 chapters in, and I remembered how much I loved it. It's so cute. It's so cute.
in honor of Bridgerton being released, we're gonna read To Brew a Scandal by Stars in Motion. So join us next time. Hermione Fanfic Fanatics is a fan podcast that discusses and reviews fan fiction written by various authors, based on the characters Hermione Granger and Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter series, created and owned by J.K. Rowling. We do not own the rights to the Harry Potter series, its characters, or any of the fan fiction works mentioned in this podcast. The purpose of our podcast is to provide commentary, analysis, and entertainment related to the fanfiction community and to foster a sense of community among fans. We respect the creative efforts of fanfiction authors and consider their works as transformative interpretations of the original source material. All fanfiction works discussed on this podcast are the intellectual property of their respective authors. We aim to provide proper attribution and promote the fanfiction community by linking to the author's original works where possible. This podcast is created for entertainment purposes and is not intended to infringe upon the rights of the copyright holders. If you are the author of a fan fiction work discussed on this podcast and would like us to remove or modify our content related to your work, please contact us and we will promptly address your request. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge and agree to the terms of this disclaimer.